Work ethic, effort, pride, love, expert hands that year after year build the future. The hands of Mexicans, hands that give their time and toil toward the earth's fertility and the birth of new fruit. Hands that together with nature, the earth and climate, produce with knowledge, experience and technology, the miracle of the vine, and one of the great wonders of life, wine. The history behind wine is, in many ways, that of civilization itself. For more than 8,000 years it has existed, and jointly with bread, it has symbolized union, fertility, commemoration, intimacy, nourishment and health. Present in the ancient scriptures, documents, narratives of man's greatest feats, and the majority of his mythology, wine has transcended the boundaries from merely a beverage derived of fermentation to constitute a true icon of the human culture. Properly combined with the correct gastronomic complements, wine has the capacity to enhance our sense of taste and add subtlety to the palate, transforming simple nourishment to an experience of pure pleasure. Mexican wine and gastronomy are, thanks to their individual characteristics, ideal companions. The great territorial opulence of our country expresses itself in a great variety of dishes and wines, representative of its vastly singular regions. The wide range of Mexican wine permits a perfect union with virtually every food type, both national and international. In many countries for some time, wine has been incorporated into the average daily diet. Medical and scientific research have proven that wine is beneficial in preventing blood clot formation that may cause heart problems. It has also been shown to prevent many of the diseases common in our hectic lives. Wine has been produced here for more than 400 years, making Mexico the country with the longest history in wine production in all Latin America. By the dawn of the 16th century, vineyards in regions neighboring Mexico City, along with other more distant areas, had already been developed to maturity. However, in later years, Felipe II, King of Spain, prohibited by royal decree wine production in La Nueva España. Thus, all existing vineyards were destroyed, preventing Mexican wine production from threatening foreign commercial interests. With much against it, wine production in the New World was almost exclusively retained within the ecclesiastic dominion. Throughout the years that followed, armed conflicts maintained the idea of vineyards and wine a lethargic concept, distant in times of war and internal quarrel that thrashed our country. It wasn't until the early second half of the 20th century that the expert hands of thousands of men joined toward the revival of the land, worked together to nourish the vineyards that would later bestow admirable fruit. And once again, our beloved wine culture seeped into various areas of Mexico, blossoming greatly. Mexican wine acquired its relevance near the dusk of the 1980s. during what could be called a second resurgence of the New World. This was made possible thanks to a number of people with the initiative and the drive to strive for a greater quality in Mexican wines, wines that would compete with the finest wines in the world. These actions are due jointly to the producers, as well as to the young, innovative enologists and winemakers that contributed to the enrichment of the wine assortment. Mexico is the proud bearer of many regions, characterized by unique microclimates and ideal conditions to nourish the vine. These conditions share a likeness to the Mediterranean, consisting in pronounced season changes, with cool, fresh mornings and nights and sunny days, perfect for the production of the best grapes this glorious land can offer. The minimal rainfall and high amount of sun exposure, merged with the mineral-enriched soil, combined with other properties of the land, create for ideal conditions and extraordinary fruit. In addition, the varied ecosystems for which our country is famous allow wine production to take place in 5 noteworthy areas. Baja California. Baja California is home to 95% of Mexican wine production. Its valleys, San Vicente, Santo Tomás, San Antonio de las Minas, and the Guadalupe Valley extend their reach westerly towards the Pacific Ocean and thus are beautifully influenced. Here the ocean is a determining climatic condition in these vineyards. Each of the 4 valleys neighboring Ensenada are host to unique characteristics. Coahuila. Although a semi-desert climate, Coahuila's proximity to the Sierra Madre Oriental and a high mountain altitude of 1,500 meters above sea level provided with an ideal vineyard microclimate, including very defined winters that reach sub-zero temperatures. In addition, the area receives intensely sunny summers, whose temperatures range from 25 to 30 degrees centigrade during the day, achieving ideal maturity of the fruit. Querétaro. Found some 2,000 meters above sea level, Querétaro offers an extreme grape-growing environment, exemplified by temperatures between 25 degrees centigrade in the day and 0 degrees centigrade at night. Aguascalientes. The region maintains moderate climate in altitudes below 2,000 meters and slightly colder temperatures above this frontier. Summer rains fall on the light textured soil that contain low amounts of organic materials and large amounts of soluble salts. Zacatecas. Dry arid climates prevail in its large meadows and plains, while the rest of the state has semi-humid, widely varying weather with frequent rain and hail in the summer. Over 40 varieties of both red and white grapes are grown in their vineyards. In spite of the great variety of ecosystems and the adverse climatic conditions, expert hands work with tenacity and dedication in the many vineyards located in these areas to cultivate the grape and create a particularly excellent and unique Mexican wine. Nearly 50 Mexican producing companies using cutting-edge technology and talented, experienced professional enologists create over 200 brands of red, white, rosé, and sparkling wines. Wines considered among the best in the world. Year after year, they are entered in international contests and have been merited with over 350 awards and recognitions. Attributed to thousands of professional, expert, working hands. However, the greatest honor obtained is the recognition of both the national and the international market, as well as the contribution that this represents to the development of the land and its productive activities. The diverse Mexican wineries export to over 25 countries. Since 1998, the wine market in Mexico has had an overall growth that in recent years has reached a 12% increase. Our expectations today are to not only maintain, but to increase this figure in the next 5 years. In a like way, consumer sales in the last decade have nearly doubled, largely because of two emerging client bases, women and youth. These changes are a product of the great effort made, the increased interest in wine culture, and the great exertion made by both the productive and commercial sectors, reinforcing and setting aside an important place for the consumption of Mexican wine. Thus, Mexican wine has righteously earned its place on the worldwide enological map as an industry that participates in the economy of a country, creating job opportunities for its people. Expert hands and wise, dedicated laborers who work with tenacity and strength to create a great wine for a greater Mexico. Expert hands. Work. Effort. Pride. Love. They make possible the miracle of the vine and the wonder of life. Mexican wine.